Good afternoon, everyone. We're looking at the double dip. Gold's going to release 1 to 2 days and back at it. We're looking at more absurd cold weather coming through. Air temperatures on the 20th, chilly. TVA saying, don't touch your heater, turn it down. Puget Sound energy the same, keep your hands off. But keep your home safe. Make sure you get those space heaters away from flammable objects. Winter storm Indigo pelting the west. Heather right in there. Arctic cold. Southeast U.S. freeze warnings. Not letting go on the snow. Ice inbound for the southeast U.S. Mississippi snowfalls. Tennessee snowfalls. Using the beads for tire traction in New Orleans as they get down into the low 20-degree Fahrenheit range. And even the Teslas are struggling to charge. Highest U.S. gas demand ever recorded. But it is going to heat up and get warm next week. And whether you knew it or not, or the National Weather Service told you or not, it's going to be a double dip cold event. They never seem to put enough information out. Maybe they just don't want to spook the public, but I think they need to be a little more forthcoming. Because as judging with ice nucleation, listening to Dane Wigington and watching the sudden stratospheric warming event, you knew this was going to be something epic and historical. But nope, of course they underestimated what the snow performance was going to be across the southeast U.S. in these Arctic temperatures. But Louisiana coming out telling everybody, space heaters, beware. A lot of people are going to be using space heaters that haven't in a long time. Keep those away from your walls. Keep those away from your flammable items. You know, the power draw is going to be incredible as the cold sets in. Like I said, that snowstorm that came blasting through was phase 1. Now we got ultra cold for 2 days. It's going to warm for a day and then ultra cold for 2 more days. We'll go through the forecast here. But as predicted, Tennessee Valley Authority, otherwise known as TVA, asking consumers not to use power. I've seen Central Power in Texas asking people not to turn on their washing machines to save power. And then we got to look at the finger. Don't touch the dial right there. Puget Sound Energy saying, don't touch it. Record high energy demand. You're going to cascade the grid. If you even touch that dial, don't do it. Turn everything off. Save the grid. And here's our 3 to 7 day U.S. hazards outlook, 19th through the 23rd. Wherever you see that blue circled is another Arctic blast. You got the left coast there, red, which is another inbound storm, Indigo. They're coming so fast. I don't know how many winter storms you can have. And you can still see the extreme cold here. What's the 17th and 18th? Far south, touching Louisiana through Mississippi and Alabama to points north where this is a record breaker for sure. I don't know how many records have been set, but more than thousands, let's say that. Extreme cold blob in the central heartland and out even onto the 20th. This is the double dip. We're going to get a day of relief, and then the next cold Arctic blast comes in. This 20th, move it forward to the 21st. That cold still hangs around there. Northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, Tennessee, northern Georgia. So hopefully you weren't this guy getting ready. You know, this is what delayed weather forecasts from local weather forecasters turned you into. You know, that's how that turns people into that, getting their groceries in the snow after the event's already started. Need to be more forthcoming with the information versus preserving narratives. Gold has soared past $2,000 an ounce. Wars in Israel and the Ukraine. Rate cuts on the table are fueling gold's meteoric rise. Meanwhile, our national debt is skyrocketing higher above $34 trillion. There's a direct correlation to the national debt and the price of gold. Call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention the Adapt 2030 channel. You're going to get some great in-class service. Also, Patriot Gold Group has a no fee for life IRA where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold or silver. No fee for life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Give them a call, 888-546-7020. And now on with the video. Here we go. Wednesday morning low temperatures. Anywhere in pink is actually below zero, and anywhere in blue is 20 degrees or colder Fahrenheit. That's pretty much contiguous lower 48 there. So jumping on to the new weather alerts that are inbound. Storm Indigo, Storm Heather. Like I say, they're just rolling together. But you can mix and match the colors here. Portland getting the ice storm warning, freeze warning, southeast U.S. More snow. Winter storms up in the northeast. So we'll start with the next one rolling through the 18th, 19th of the forecast snowfalls. Pacific Northwest and parts further in to Minnesota, it looks like, down into the Four Corners area. You got ice as well along the coast there. That's no fun for driving. Hopefully you have your supplies in place. We got the ice storm warnings. What's that? From Portland down to Eugene, and anywhere that it's cold in the winter as a normal cold spot receiving another winter storm warning. Winter storm Heather is now this southeast quadrant here that just got clobbered. I mean clobbered. They so underestimated the snowfall and the cold for this storm. I don't know if it was on purpose, but it was a disservice to those preparing for this storm. And the snowfalls, you missed the snowfalls by 5 inches. Like what? How is that even possible? So I digress to the hard freeze warnings. Southern Texas, all of Louisiana. Look at that, parts of Mississippi, Alabama. And you thought you might be going on holiday down to Florida. I don't think so. We're looking at ice storms all through that yellow area, bottom map. And the northeast, massive amounts of snow. But, lake effect snow, you'd expect a foot or so here. Oh, 30 inches. Wait, that's a bit more. And the Buffalo area, that's why they canceled the game. The Bills, the Steelers got canceled because of so much snow. Again, that would be a signal of, something's very rare during this time. And in the Great Lakes, they always have that fingerprint of lake effect snow. And if we go back to the central Midwest here, Iowa 15 inches, Illinois 14 inches, Wisconsin, but they get snow every year. This is just a larger amount though. Put it in perspective, it's happening everywhere, not just in your neck of the woods, as they say. But the snow cover for the U.S., half the contiguous 48, 54% covered. Now, the thing to focus on, the reason I keep going back to the southeast U.S. is they rarely get this much. It is the Knoxville's closed, for a better term, for days and even longer. These areas further south into Mississippi, they just don't get these deep snowfalls. And this Pivotal Weather did a great job forecasting and front-running everybody else out there who was predicting snow models that were saying, 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches. And then when the event happens, like you saw in the previous snow dome, then they started upgrading the forecast, but not until the event started happening. And this is what, I look at this, like you couldn't come out like a day or two earlier knowing that the ice nucleation was going to be off the Richter and, forecast a much deeper snowfall. And they were upgrading it as the snow totals were moving forward, like by the hour. How can you be that off and not be able to understand radar, ice nucleation, and sudden stratospheric warming event effects all combining? Those are supposed to be professionals. You're watching my video here on YouTube, and I'm able to call that more cleanly than they were? That's ridiculous. Through the north part there, that's all Tennessee, and then you come down to Alabama, Georgia. And this could be anywhere southeast U.S. 7, 8, 10, 12 inches of snow. Unreal is what it is. And this is northwest Mississippi. This is a town paralyzer. Nobody drives in this. Plus it's cold. It's not going to get above freezing. That snow's around for a very long time. But it's not the first time it's happened. If you look at this news article here, frosty surprise. This is 1997, December 15th. The snowpocalypse for the southeast U.S. So you get these events like once every 30 years. But this event broke those records from the last snowpocalypse in the late 1990s. Check out Oxford, University of Mississippi there. Ole Miss getting the snow. Ice, sleet, snow. And, down in New Orleans, they don't normally get snow and ice, but this is what they use for their Tire traction, using the Mardi Gras beads. Hey, something's better than nothing, you know what I mean? You got to deal with what you deal with if it's a first-time event. Now, you saw these forecast lows far down on the coast coming into the low 20s, breaking into the teens around New Orleans. Wind chills, hard freezes, and luckily on the coast there, water's going to regulate that temperature. But the second you step off that coast, you're below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And moving in through the next couple of days, warmer temperatures starting to push north a little bit, but you're still getting below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, even in Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. Now looking at Jackson, Mississippi, the colors say it all. The hard freezes are in this far south. That's why the power grid's being drawn on essentially heavily. It's going to last another 24 to 48 hours on heavy grid draw. You're going to get a bounce in temperature, but then it's going to drop out for another couple days. Another cold blast on the way. So the actual temperatures here, Pensacola and Destin, Florida, not immune. So if you thought you're going to lie on the beach and take in some cocktails, yeah, and 37-degree weather perhaps. Oh wait, this is Jacksonville. That's even further south than the Panhandle. My bad. Going to get 25 degrees up in the Panhandle. And if we look at Nashville, Tennessee, snow records smashed. Yeah, right. And all across western Tennessee, to Memphis declared an emergency, snow emergency, like full-on emergency over there. Along Little Rock, Arkansas, that place was pelted heavy with snow. They haven't seen snow like this. It broke all the records. So going back to the 1880s is when the last time they saw this type of massive event so wide and so encompassing. And again, I live around in Knoxville area, and the snow totals they were talking about originally, like 1 to 2 inches, going to be a dusting. Oh wait, it turned into 10 inches. But wait, no, it's actually 12 inches now. How did that happen? Where did that come from? Again, these warnings were far behind where they should have been for people. And the wind chills across the southeast U.S. This is why the grid's going to be drawn on so heavily. The snow event was, yes, the first thing to come, but now the cold's setting in. And if we do look at gas demand, 1.64 billion cubic feet, January 15th, and if we include exports and internal usage in the U.S., we're going to jump up to 1.71. I think with these cold temperatures being cooler now by 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit that didn't even forecast before, that this could jump up to probably 1.73, which would absolutely smash through the all-time record highs set Storm Elliott. So we're looking at the highest natural gas usage ever in American history, and somehow we're supposed to believe that this was just something normal. Erase it from your memory banks. The cold doesn't count. And by the way, these electric cars are having a very difficult time charging and keeping charge in such cool conditions. Now, it is a rare event, but you can see the limits on where we have pushed into these types of battery technologies. Need to improve on that. And as we look at the temperature anomaly map for the 16th, 17th, and we'll roll you out into the 18th, 30 degrees plus Fahrenheit cooler than normal. This is a Celsius map here. The U.S. doesn't rock in Celsius, but the rest of the planet does. You can see the extreme temperatures, and as we move forward, it moves to the south. Again, bringing those cooler temperatures on that double dip. Now, it is going to warm up, and if you look at, say, for example, Knoxville 10-day weather, 2 degrees Fahrenheit, we're starting on the left over there. 30 degrees, it'll bump up in temperature, but it's going to drop right off. 6 degrees for the low, 2 degrees for the low, 10 degrees for the low. Another prolonged 3-day period of drawing on the grid, and then whoosh, it just warms up real quickly. And I thought, all right, why don't I look at Muscle Shoals, Alabama? That's kind of northern Alabama, right near the Tennessee border as well. We see the same thing, 5 degrees Fahrenheit. It warms up a little bit, 17, then you get that day of warmth, 28, and then bam, right back down again, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Fahrenheit, and at the end of the week, it warms right back up. And it does seem to follow the pattern. The Jackson, Mississippi, 9 degree Fahrenheit, you get that, a little bit of warmth on Wednesday, Thursday coming in, and then it's right back down, 17, 18 degrees Fahrenheit, but the end of the week, right back up into the 60s. That's where the way it plays down here. And then Shreveport, Louisiana, 13, and then it warms up for a couple of days, and then it drops right back down, 19 Fahrenheit, 20 Fahrenheit, and at the end of the week, they're up into the mid-60s also, which validates right here on the GFS model, coming in on the 24th, that everything is going to be toasty warm, and ye shall thaw out. But while you're thinking about thawing out, think about some emergency foods. Were you prepared for this? How many people did you know that weren't? Maybe you could suggest to them My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 3-month emergency food supply, so you didn't have to go out into the chaos and snow, ice, and maybe, have some unfortunate car accidents by traversing roads that were unsalted or untreated, especially in the Southeast U.S. These events can occur at any time in any part of our nation or worldwide. You're going to have to think more about preparedness moving forward, because this type of extreme is going to become more common. So I do appreciate you watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Bye for now.